This weekend, English Gardner will defend her Pac-12 100-meter title, which she won last year in memorable fashion, breaking Gail Devers' Pac-12 or Pac-10 record. In part 2 of our conversation with the Duck sprinter, Eric Elkin talks to Gardner about that run last year and also looking ahead to this summer.
After you won the Pac-10 100-meter last year, right as you crossed the line, you threw up the O.
Yeah.
Was that planned, or is that just kind of a knee-jerk reaction?
You know, I did not plan it at all. A lot of people across America didn't really agree with it. You know, they felt as though it was a little bit overly, you know, confident, but it had nothing really to do about my confidence because I didn't think I was going to get out there and run that fast. You know, watching it on TV, they didn't even mention my name in the beginning of the race, and then at the end, they're like, English Gardner, and I'm like, that's all I wanted. You know, I was excited that that happened, and I was able to make a name for myself.
How about beating Gail Devers' 100-meter mark? Is that something that, do you still have to pinch yourself sometimes when you realize you've done that? Definitely,
because that's the woman that taught me how to start in blocks. So it's like, you know, I met her when I was 13 years old, and she taught me how to get down in blocks and how to start, and from that day on, I just used that, and it helped me break her record. So it was kind of ironic that, you know, right after she called me and was like, you know, I'm proud of you, and I'm honored that, you know, you're the one that actually took my record.
So how often do you get to talk to her? What's your relationship like with her?
We talk back and forth in email. She called my coach right after the meet, you know, all last year. You know, she made sure she kept up with, you know, what I was doing. Probably going to text her or hit her up on email and tell her, you know, we're about to go back at it again, and hopefully I can do a little bit more than I did last year.
Shocking the world would include the Olympic trials and going to the Olympics, I imagine.
Definitely.
What would it mean to you to be running in London in July?
It's been a dream since I was 7 years old. You know, I was an 8-year-old girl telling everybody I was going to the Olympics. You know, I didn't care how I was going to get there. I didn't care if it was on a relay or if I was running any other event. You know, I just wanted to be able to get there. If I finally achieved that goal, I always told my dad, like, I'm done. But, you know, not really. But it's just that it means that much to me.
What does it mean to have the path to potentially getting to London in the Olympics come through here?
I'm a very religious person, and I'm just like, you know, I feel like God has just definitely opened up the doors for me. You know, He's setting the path for me right where I can just walk on. For it to be in a track that I train every day and I'm so used to it is by far short of a miracle. I've only said to myself, you know, this is starting to really come to life and starting to really be a great opportunity for me.
Really nice, guys, to get to know English a little better through these conversations.